Have you ever had one of those moments where your brain suddenly goes into survival mode? For me, it happened when I was only 13 years old. One afternoon, my best friend and I were walking home from school when a black pickup truck slowly pulled up beside us. There were 3 men inside. They looked like they were in their 20s. At first, they started asking us strange questions and trying to convince us to come over to the truck and look at something. We immediately said no, but they wouldn't leave us alone. They kept insisting and calling out to us. My friend and I looked at each other, and without even saying anything, we both knew what we had to do. Run. We took off as fast as we could. At first, I thought that would be enough. I figured they'd realize we weren't interested and drive away. But then I heard the truck behind us. They were following. My stomach dropped. I grabbed my friend's hand and pulled her down another street, hoping we could lose them. We turned again, then again, but the truck kept following. The men were shouting things at us from the vehicle, insulting us and making it clear they weren't planning to leave. We were terrified. I didn't want to run straight to my house because that would tell them exactly where I lived. But we were in a quiet residential neighborhood. There were no stores nearby, no crowded streets, no obvious place where we could safely disappear. Eventually, we realized we didn't have much of a choice. We had to get home, so we ran. The second we reached my house, we rushed inside and locked the door behind us. But there was one huge problem. My parents weren't home. For a few seconds, we just stood there trying to catch our breath. Then we heard something that made my blood run cold. Car doors opening. They had followed us all the way home. My friend and I dropped down onto the floor, trying to stay out of sight. Looking back, it probably wasn't the smartest hiding place. They had already watched us enter the house. But we were 13. We were scared. We weren't thinking clearly. I eventually got onto my knees and carefully looked through the window. And that's when I saw them. They were getting out of the truck, and they were walking toward our house. I knew I had seconds to figure something out. Then suddenly, I remembered something. A Christmas present my parents had given me that year. I ran into my bedroom and came back holding a BB gun. It wasn't a real firearm. It couldn't seriously hurt someone the way a real rifle could. But from a distance, it looked surprisingly realistic. My friend immediately panicked. She begged me not to open the door. But in that moment, I believed I had to make them think twice about coming any closer. I unlocked the front door. Then I opened it. I stepped outside holding the BB gun against my shoulder and aimed it directly toward them. They were only a few feet away. Everything went completely silent. The men stopped. They had clearly expected to find 2 frightened kids hiding inside. They hadn't expected anyone to confront them. I looked at them and said, "Think very carefully about how you want this to go down." And apparently, they didn't need much time to think. They immediately turned around. They ran back to their truck, jumped inside, and drove away as fast as they could. The entire thing was over in seconds, but my body didn't realize that yet. My heart was pounding so hard that I could feel it in my chest. It took nearly an hour before my heartbeat finally started returning to normal. Looking back, I realized how dangerous that situation really was. I was just a 13-year-old kid who happened to remember something that might scare the men away. But the most important thing wasn't the BB gun. It was recognizing that we were in danger, trusting my instincts, and acting quickly enough to get ourselves out of the situation. Sometimes, in a terrifying moment, you don't have time to create the perfect plan. You just have to stay calm enough to find one thing that might keep you safe. And for me, that split-second decision may have changed everything.